There is a heavenly presence in my life that has protected me from many things.
Come check this. Come check this.
Yay! I have a Disney top and it's legit. It's legit, guys. Even if it's made in Turkey, it's legit. It's from Disney. My story. So I did a world trip in the year 2000.
Editing Linda here. I started off in South Africa and I flew straight to Perth, not for long, just sort of to fuel up, and then landed in Sydney, and then I stayed with my uncle there for 3 months. I had to get out after 3 months. It was a 3-month visa, so I could use that over 3 years, but keep coming in and out. But I had to move out when I was after 3 months. I could fly back in, so I went to Vanuatu there. Then I stayed there for 5 or 6 days. Then I came back to Australia and stayed a couple more months, and then I went to the New Zealand, and I went from the North Island all the way down to Queenstown in the south, and all of those amazing places. That place is cold. It was April and it was cold, and then I made my way to the US. So now, to do the US. Actually, so we flew from Australia, went into the United States, and I landed in LA, and then up to San Francisco, and then down again, just that area. Then after that, I had a friend in Canada, so I flew up Ontario and stayed with her in Brockville and did some cherry picking there. And then that was a few months, and then I flew over, not to Iceland, for goodness sake, to Ireland. I loved Ireland, and I stayed there for a bit, and then I went back to London. And I just eventually made my way home to South Africa.
Oh my word, this is just getting worse. Then I landed in Los Angeles. What's that beach called, that famous beach? I'll think of the beach. I stayed in a backpackers there. There were 3 bunks on top of each other, and there were 2 of those bunks of 3. So that was 6 bunks. And I was the only girl, and there were like 4 Russian guys. And they stayed up all night playing cards on the top bunk. But I didn't care. I was just so happy to be there. I had my backpack, because that's all I'd brought with me from South Africa to travel around the world with for a year, and I slept using it as a pillow because I didn't trust anybody. I mean, if someone took my backpack, I'd be gone. I went to, is it Disney World or Disneyland? I can't remember. I was too cheap to buy anything there. I would never have bought something there. And here, okay, I have a lot of puppy stuff underneath. I'm not puppy. It's just the stuff underneath is puppy. This is my official t-shirt, sweater top from when, even though I visited it 25 years ago, I finally got the t-shirt. It's kind of cool. I like it. It's been a good one. I've been sharing with you. I've been telling you stories of my trips around the world. Oh, by the way, the US trip, when I went to LA, it was a Californian trip. So I booked a little bus and I climbed on it with a whole bunch of people.
When I got to LA, then I stayed in Venice Beach. That's the one I was thinking, Venice Beach. And then a few days later, I climbed on a little bus with a whole lot of really cool people, and we went through the Joshua Tree there, and then we kept going, and we went to the Grand Canyon, and then we went to my favorite, Las Vegas. I don't remember going through Death Valley, but I do remember we went to Yosemite, we went to Lake Tahoe, and then we went to the San Francisco, and then from there we went down the coast. It was so cool. We didn't go to Santa Barbara, so I don't know. We just went there and came back to Los Angeles. Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, it was so amazing. Most of them were Americans, but there were probably Australian, 1 or 2 Australians. But anyway, here comes this little South African 18-year-old, me and my backpack, and I climb in. And so I did LA on my own because they didn't do LA. Or did they? Yes, they did. We went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Chinatown, I don't know, all of that stuff there. I think back then it was safe. Apparently it's not so safe anymore. But anyway, so we went there. Then we climbed into the bus and we headed into the country. We headed north. And the first place we hit was, I think we just started going through desert. And I love the desert so much. I just want to go to Utah. That's all I want. That's on my bucket list. There's nothing else I want to see in the world. I've seen a lot of the world. I want to see, I'm sure there are other places, but I want to go to Utah. I want to go see those canyons. I want to, that Bryce Canyon and all that. I'm sure for you guys in America, it's like nothing, but to me, that's where I want to go. But we went through, is it Arizona? I think it was, but it was like inland, north. And then we went to the Grand Canyon. But first, before we went to the Grand Canyon, we stopped off at this Indian area, heritage site. And I bought myself this beautiful little ring with this special little like this character that plays like a little flute. And he's some sort of trickster in the Indian tradition. I'm sure I had past lives there. I'm telling you now, something drew me to it's holy. That is holy land. This is an atmosphere. There's something there. It's amazing. Then we drove up to the Grand Canyon and we watched the sunset. The one thing that surprised me the most about the Grand Canyon was that no matter what you do, no photograph can capture the immensity. It's so enormous. Even your eyes can't take it in. It's like, it's indescribable. But your camera cannot take in the vastness, and even your eyes have trouble with it. That night we camped on the ridge in some camping site in the Grand Canyon. I think it's nature reserve. And if I have to tell you the coldest night of my entire life, it was that night. It was April, so I mean, hey, it wasn't like close to winter. It was like 35 degrees when we got to the Grand Canyon, and then we did a walk down. We walked down, and it was amazing. And I just wish I was camera savvy then and I'd been able to document the whole trip, because America is so beautiful. Anyway, so the coldest night of my life. I don't know if I slept at all. I had the thing I was using as a pillow, my backpack was empty because I had put on every single item of clothing, including shoes and 5 pairs of socks. Everything I had on my body. And then I still needed to go and pee in the middle of the night, which was not pleasant. But a surprise waited for me when I woke up. I unzipped the tent. And right outside our tent, obviously I was needing to go for another loo break, but right outside our tent was a moose. I was like, a Santa Claus arrived, because all I knew about mooses and stuff like that, they look like reindeer. They got like antlers and like cute little noses like Rudolph and stuff. And here there was one like just outside my tent eating on the grass outside. And it was so magical. I'd never seen one in my life. I mean, I've said that over and over, but it must be like people that come to South Africa and they see a lion or they see an elephant or they see a giraffe for the first time. Amazing. So that was the Grand Canyon. We went to the most incredible place, Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Now, I'm not a gambler. I don't drink. I'm a good girl. Okay. I say that very, very loosely. Everyone, just all the hotels there, and New York, the hotel has this amazing roller coaster that goes all the way around it. I don't know if Las Vegas still looks the same, and there was like the Seattle Tower, and you could go to the top, and there was Venice, and you could, or it must have been like France maybe, because there was Venice, and you could go down the gondola, these fake gondolas with fake dudes doing the gondola thing. And I had already been to Venice, so this was not really the experience of Venice that I had seen in real life. And there was the Eiffel Tower, probably like that big compared to the real thing. Bellagio, I think, there were fascinating, like colourful water, fountainy, fireworky kind of things that you could just sit there and watch them, and the music would play. Ooh, and it was the very first and the last time I ever rode in a limousine. So we all put our money together and paid to go in a limousine. So we drove around Las Vegas in a limousine. What a night. The thing I found with Las Vegas that was fascinating was that it's this town, this vibrant, energetic town, and it's surrounded, well, at that time, it's surrounded by absolute silence. It's flat, it's desert, it's dead. You feel like you're like in a cowboy movie where there are no people for miles, and you're probably never going to find water and you're going to die. That's what it feels like on the outskirts of Las Vegas when I was there. But when you get in, it feels like the land of Oz. It's so completely alien to anything in this world, anything I'd ever seen before. It felt like it was just like I'd climbed on some alien aircraft and landed on a planet of light. It blew my mind. The way the clouds, on the night we were there, the clouds formed like a dome, and the lights of the city were sort of reflecting off the clouds. It really felt like you were insulated in this world. It was totally amazing. So that was Las Vegas, and then after Las Vegas, I headed to San Francisco with a group, and we did Alcatraz. And we did a lot of walking around, going on those little trams up the mountains, and there's this weird road, like called an S road, and it's like, I don't know who ever invented it, but they made it really pretty by putting like beautiful flowers and gardens inside the S's all the way up this little hill. It was a beautiful little town. Went to the Chinatown there as well. Rode up. Well, you know what I do? The rest of the crew, this is when I go on any sort of tours with a group of people, I never stay with them. I go off on my own. And I decided in San Francisco to go to every hotel. And as long as the hotel had a window to the outside in their lifts, I was in those lifts. And I would go in the hotel, say, how's it to? They let you in those days, and I would just ride the lift. And I mean, if you got into a tall enough building, you ended up seeing like the city, beautiful. So that I was just missioning around. I always find when I travel that I like to just walk the streets. I'm not interested. I was in Rome, wasn't interested in going to Vatican City. I instead went to the Spanish Steps. I went to see some skulls underground in like a tomb. I went to the Colosseum. I went to a few galleries, and I walked and walked and walked the city flat for the entire day. And you know what the rest of the tour group did? They stood in a line waiting to get into the Vatican City. They did that. And we all met up at about 3:00 at St. Peter's, is it? At the big church as part of the Vatican. where all Michelangelo stuff is. And I came back and told them I'd seen this, and this, and I'd gone here, and I'd had ice cream, and all of this stuff. And they'd, we stood in line. The Vatican was nice to go into. It was good. And I had stories, and they didn't have any because everybody was doing the same thing. When people go to Rome and they've only got one day, they just go to the Vatican City, which isn't Rome anyway. What a waste. I don't know. Maybe I'm just different. San Francisco, baby. Finished with San Francisco and then headed back to LA on the coast. That coastline between San Francisco and Los Angeles is something to behold. Wow. The cliffs, the ocean. Anyway, that's just one of my small little stories that I have about all the travels I've done overseas. I have a lot of funny stories. I was kidnapped once. I dated a gangster. I mean, the stories just go on and on. There is a heavenly presence in my life that has protected me from many things. Because I was a girl, 18, 19, and I traveled for 5 years on my own. On my own. I went through countries, saw most of the countries in the world. I mean, I didn't go to Russia and never been to South America. I haven't been to... It's up north from Canada. I went to Canada. Up north from Canada is Alaska. I haven't been to Alaska, Greenland, those places I'd like to go to. I want to see the Northern Lights. Okay, look. Can you see? I look tired. I've worked hard for you today. I've been telling you stories, and I'm hoping that you will come back for more. I've always got more stories. Look after yourselves.